Why is that? Why did you not look out for somebody that might be able to take you under their wing, as it were, and teach you?
For two reasons. The first reason, that a private investigator doesn't like to share. That's easy. No, it's secret. See, no, I cannot tell you that. No, I can't. It's everywhere in the world.
Okay.
Everything is secret. It's a very paranoid job. And the second reason is that at this time, it has changed a lot. The average level of the private investigator was really very low.
Hello and welcome to the Intelligence Advantage podcast, where we talk to the movers and shapers in the investigation and intelligence space. My name is Gary Miller. I've been an investigative lawyer for nearly half a century, and I'm also the chairman of the IFG, a network of international investigative and asset recovery lawyers. I'm delighted today to be able to introduce and welcome Philippe Dylewski, who is a man of many countries, if not nationalities, and you'll find out why as we go through our conversation. Philippe has been investigating all sorts of issues for the last 20 years in various different places. And I came across him actually because I bought one of the latest edition of his book, which is called Offensive Intelligence. So let's give the book a plug for Philippe. And I was so impressed by what I read, how clear it was and how useful it was, that I immediately jumped on LinkedIn and invited Philippe to talk with me. And here we are today. So welcome, Philippe. And it's great to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Gary. Really, I'm really glad to be here.
My first question has got to be, when you were helping me not mispronounce your family surname, tell me about background. It's not necessarily the most common surname I've come across. So you have Eastern European origins?
Polish and Russian, yeah. My family came from Poland and Russia. We don't know exactly, because there were so many wars at this time that one Monday it was Russia, Tuesday it was Poland. So my family mostly come from Poland and Russia, and arrived in Belgium exactly now 100 years ago.
Wow. And so who were your grandparents, your great-grandparents, who were the original immigrants?
My grandparents were when they were very young.
Very young. And since then,
my parents are both born in Belgium.
As were you?
Yeah.
Excellent. And Belgium, I'm trying to calculate and see where the immigration wave was coming from, but I guess it was various parts of Western Europe that was receiving waves of Polish, Russian immigrants as a result of pogroms. I'm not sure whether yours were as a result of the anti-Semitic pogroms or other.
Yeah.
It was.
I'm not sure it was the main reason, but yeah, my grandparents were Jewish. As far as I know, I never known him, but I think that one of my grandfather was a Russian communist.
Right.
And
okay.
For a reason I ignore, he left Russia after the communists won.
Strange.
Yeah. I know that he was in Siberia, arrested by the Tsar police. That's all I know. And he was freed before being killed.
Wow.
And I suppose he didn't like so much communism. I don't know. Yeah, no, because he still was, as far as I know, still communist in Belgium. I don't know. It's a mystery.
So you never got the chance to meet any of your grandparents?
I had the chance to meet three of them. Only one I never met. The one who was in Siberia, and he died a couple of years before I came on this world.
Right. And tell me a little bit about parents and your education background. What business or what area did your parents take up when they?
I come from middle class family, nothing special. They didn't go to school more than till 16 years old. They had a small local business in a working area, and since the day I'm born, I'm registered in a university. Before even being able to speak or walk, I was already at university.
And that's because your parents were absolutely determined that you should have a better education than them, or what?
I think at this time, most of the people thought that success was related to a higher education, which is not the same situation nowadays.
Nowadays, you're quite right. So the emphasis of our parents, my parents, who are sadly no longer with us, that generation, and certainly the previous generation, was definitely, you've got to get an education and then you've got to get a profession. Doctor, dentist, lawyer, accountant, that was the way things worked.
Yeah, totally. But I never been a dentist, nor a doctor, nor a lawyer. I think they were secretly despair, but they never told me.
Well, tell us how you first became aware of this industry and area of business called investigation. What was your first exposure to it?
Movies, series.
Okay.
And honestly, it's one series which decided me to jump. It was a French. I perfectly remember. At this time, I had my own company, which worked very well, too well for me, because I like problems, I think. The growth of the company was always stable. It was the same year after years. I got crazy with that. So I watched a series. It was a French one about a guy whose mission was to find missing people for lawyers.
Okay.
I thought it was a fake. It was not possible. Such a job couldn't exist, because I watched the series. Say, yeah, it's for me. That's exactly what I want to do. And a couple of days after, because I took it very seriously, I realized that it was really, really, really possible. And at this time, I was a headhunter. I was the manager of a headhunting company.
I see.
And I realized that basically I wanted to be a real headhunter. Hunt people for real.
So until you saw that movie, you were headhunting in the traditional sense, and then you saw this movie or this series, and you thought, this was, how old were you when you saw this?
30, 34, 33.
And before that, you had absolutely no inclination or aspiration to become involved in.
Inclination, probably, because I was the boss of the company, and when you are in a we work in a recruitment company, only the newest employee search made the head search. Exception made me. I wanted to do this job.
You like to do the research.
I loved that. I loved to do the research, and I was fed up with interviewing people. It was so boring. So, but everybody was happy because the boss took the job that no one wanted to do.
Okay.
No, everybody was happy.
And so, just going back, what made you go into recruitment? You came out of university having studied what? Psychology. Okay, well, that's a good subject to study to go into any kind of business, but particularly recruitment.
Absolutely. It's simple. I study clinical psychology for 5 years, and once I had my degree, I received my first patients, which is normal.
Oh, okay.
As a doctor, okay, a doctor receives his first patient, a psychologist receives his first patient. I realize I really hate that.
What was it about the client, the patient, doctor relationship? Was it the fact that they were dumping problems on you, or what? What was it that you didn't like?
Imagine you are explaining me that your heart is broken because the love of your life left this morning, okay? And you are
Yes.
crying. And you say, we were so happy, and I don't understand why she left me. I just want to answer, because she doesn't love you anymore, but I couldn't.
You couldn't cut to the chase, is that it?
No, I was too impatient for such a job.
I see. I see.
I couldn't listen to people who were explaining the same problem that I had. Because me too, she left me. Oh, I don't know who or when, but it happened, and I was very sad, and I cried the same way. And what can we do in this situation? Nothing.
So
There is nothing to do.
when you were qualifying or when you were becoming a clinical psychologist, is it like therapy? You have to go into the consulting, you have to have your own psychologist who you share your problems with, or that's not how it worked in those days?
It's suggested.
Suggested, not compulsory.
It's not compulsory. But I was supposed to continue a new degree in specialization after my master degree, but I realized no, I'm not going to do that. So I stopped. I didn't continue the training during the weekend. So no, sorry. And I didn't like the world, the universe
like the world.
The world of psychologists, the universe, the conversation, the tone, even the tone. You know, even the head on your shoulder. Yeah. No. Sorry.
You could be forgiven for feeling that you might not be the most empathetic or sympathetic human being. Would that be a fair description of you?
No, it would be a bad description of me because I'm a very empathetic guy, but probably not professionally, which is the opposite of my former colleagues.
Right. And
because most of them, they are not empathetic. They just do as if.
They're very, as the word says, very clinical, correct?
Yeah, they are just professional, clinical, whatever. But it was not for me, no, really. Later on, I made a lot of professional coaching, and that was okay. It was really okay with a high level manager.
Okay.
With a purpose, with a goal, a target. Yeah, I come to see you because I have a problem with this and I want to reach that. Okay, let's do that. 5, 6. Let's spend together 5-6 hours. Paid a fortune, and it was great.
So you tended to be more comfortable and maybe also more successful, certainly more satisfied when you were using your skills in relation to looking at psychology in the context of achieving a business goal or some other tangible result rather than just making someone feel better.
Clearly. Let's begin with how are we going to? And not why. I don't care why.
You don't care why. And are you still of that mindset, Philippe? You don't care how someone got to that position?
I'm still the one who say, how are we going to? And don't lose our time with why. Your parents are dead. Let them in peace. It's too late. Yeah. Okay, you were beaten. You were even raped. Okay, it's terribly sad. It's horrible. I'll say, okay, what are we going to do now with that?
Right. So that, it could come across as a little harsh, but I hear you, and that's the beauty of the world. It's made up of all of us different creatures. I remember a great line. Well, I thought it was a great line by Laurence Olivier, and I think it was in a film with Neil Diamond when they were talking about in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you've come from. And I know that's not exactly what you're saying, but it's not that relevant to you what that previous experience was. You just want to figure out how do you get to the desired goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't say that knowing about the past is useless. It's fascinating. When you realize something, it's fascinating. It's very interesting. It's intellectually nourishing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Nourishing.
It's interesting, nourishing, but it will not help you to get better. Never, ever.
Okay. So you're in business. I don't know how long, you'll tell me. You then go and see this movie or this film, and you have what we call a light bulb moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you think, I guess, God, I didn't know you could make a living by doing this. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So I made my research. What was legal in Belgium, and what was legal in Belgium was to go to evening school during 2 years, and there were two schools in the French part of Belgium, and one of the two schools was situated 2 kilometers from my apartment. So, destiny call.
And what were these courses entitled? How to be an investigator?
It was very easy.
Sorry,
yeah,
we overlapped each other. The internet.
Sorry. You were obliged to go to this school.
Yes.
If you wanted to be a private investigator in Belgium. So if it was, I had no choice. So, okay, I went there. It was 5 minutes far from my home. No problem, 2 times a week. And the level of the school was, how could I say that? Primitive?
Yes, that's a good word.
It's primitive. It was such a low level, I couldn't even imagine that it could exist. What I did during 2 years, I would have been able to study it in 2 weeks. And it was not only my opinion, but the other student in the classroom thought exactly the same. It was extremely low level, and it had a great impact on me, because it's because of the low level of the school that I began to write.
I see. So what's interesting to me, having come from an Anglo-Saxon, certainly English, and then Hong Kong background, I don't think I've ever been aware of a course that people can go to study private investigation. So Belgium was either ahead of its game of the world, or in some shape or form realized or considered that this was a skill set that you needed to study for and to qualify at. So that's interesting. Is that a long-standing course and reality in Belgium? Is it still going on today, for example?
I think it's still the same, but I left Belgium a couple of years ago. So yeah, at this time, and I think it's still the same, 2 times a week during 2 years.
For 2 years. And just, can you remember, give me an example of the kind of things, 2 things, the kind of people that were teaching you and the kind of things that they taught you.
The teacher, we had a private investigator as a master teacher.
I see.
And most of the other teachers were professional lawyers.
I see. Okay.
And the main team of the lessons were, we are going to teach you how don't be caught by the cops.
I see. So it was all about how not to be caught by the cops rather than how to catch the person or what it is you're investigating.
Yeah, I remember well that the private investigator who was our main teacher, he even didn't know how to switch on a computer. For him, being an investigator was to be in the street following a target. with a talkie-walkie, like a shoebox. Yeah.
How long ago are we talking? Because, of course, the advent of the mobile phone it's not 20 years, but it's not that long ago.
No. I've been to school, I think, in 2004, something like that.
So about 20 years, for about 20 years ago. So
maybe a little bit more, a little bit, maybe 2003. I don't remember.
No, but it still sounds as if, to say the least, the level of technical ability was a little bit below that which every businessman was using, as far as they are concerned, in terms of computers
yes.
and telephones.
Yeah, clearly yes.
The
student used to teach the teacher.
And what?
So you can do that. You can do that with your computer. You can find information. You can do that. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, true.
And so, apart from giving you the impetus to become an author, what was the most significant thing you can think of that you learned from being at that course for 2 years?
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was just there because it was mandatory by the Belgian government. I was obliged to have the paper. That's it. There was no other reason. And the pleasure to meet the other students.
I see.
All of them were like me, second career. They were all adults. So it was a real pleasure to go to school.
I see. And did you make some contacts 20 years ago that you still know? No. Today?
No. Some of them I've been in contact for years, but nowadays, no one.
And so I understand now that you needed this certificate, of course, to become a private investigator, and you had to register with a government department, get a license, things like that.
Yeah, you after you are graduated, you can ask for your license for your license.
Right.
Yeah. And the day I received it, I looked at it 10 times more than my degree in psychology.
And what did it in reality allow you to do that otherwise it would have been illegal for you to do those under Belgian law? If you did what? Tell me what it is that this license enabled you to do.
Nothing, no right at all. I'm a citizen like another one. The only difference is I have the right to be paid for those things. That's it. But I have no specific right.
So, for example, it's not as if you were licensed to obtain information from banks. It was simply that you could not hold yourself out as an investigator unless you got this license.
No, you have no specific right. But I must say that my government had a good idea, because before this law, the population amongst the private detective was really problematic, to tell it politely.
I see. So in other words, everybody was getting into that game, and was in itself, it was becoming a problem with deceiving people and conning them about what they could and couldn't do.
And most of the time, it was not anyone. It was only the worst.
I see. So you would
see, I'm a cop. I'm supposed to finish my career as a cop.
Yes.
To be fired as a cop, you must at least kill a lot of people. Not only one is not enough. But I think that half of the private investigator before this law from 1992 was former cops who has been fired from police. You can imagine the level?
I can imagine the level. And so they introduced the legislation. You sat the exam. Meanwhile, you're still running your recruitment company.
Yeah.
And obviously, because it sounds as if it wasn't too demanding, you didn't have any real problems in combining the studying with your business.
No. Not only me, anyone would be in the same situation because it was really easy.
And so how long after you got your license did you then suddenly start up as private investigator extraordinaire?
10 minutes.
So you go straight out and you put your name in where? How does it work? You put your name in Yellow Pages or whatever it is in Belgium?
Yellow Pages. My great happiness, business card.
Means you can go out and give business cards.
Yeah. I built a new company, which name was Agakure, which is Japanese. So it was such a new life. You see, I was a teenager, but I was 35. I sold my company. I sold my company.
You sold your company.
Yeah, after a couple of months, I had the opportunity to sell my company. So I was 35. I had no real problem of money for a couple of years.
Okay.
So it was easy.
Do you remember your very first case as a private investigator?
Sadly, yes, I remember it.
So share it with us if you wouldn't mind.
It was a Belgian woman who has been married with an American citizen who were a soldier for NATO.
Okay.
And they were separated for 30 years, I think, 20 years.
Oh
but
my God.
They never divorced.
I see.
And she wanted to find him to ask him to sign the papers. I never found him.
You never found him?
So I searched. It was my first file. So I didn't even take other file and I failed. I know where he was I remember it was 20 years ago. It was in California. I was sure. I localized him in a part of California, but all my connection failed. I wrote to many organizations, military. No. The only way to go further was to buy a ticket.
And to go over there.
Yeah.
But she didn't want you to do that.
No.
Seems a little short-sighted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly,
it was too expensive for, but I still think about that because first mission, first fail.
First failed. But clearly, and I know nothing about the rest of the circumstances, clearly she didn't want the divorce that badly, and she'd lived in those circumstances for 30 years.
No, exactly.
Because you wouldn't stop there, even when you started business. Getting an airplane ticket was not a big deal.
No, but it was too much for her, and I really thought to pay. I really thought to pay the ticket, but no, don't start like that.
No. So, you feel a little bit disillusioned about the business, or not really? You just no.
I was sad about myself.
What you couldn't do.
Because if today I would have the same file, I would probably find the guy in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Probably less. Maybe not, but no more than a week. So I knew that I was responsible of the failure. And the reason of my failure was I know nothing about this business.
Right.
I know nothing. So I begin to take notes, to have a plan. When I receive a new mission, I will follow this plan. And I begin to, it was a plan.
So unlike most people that I have met and speak to, you didn't go and decide to become a student or at least taught by an existing investigator. You decided to teach yourself all of the tricks of the trade.
Yeah, exactly.
And why is that? Why did you not look out for somebody that might be able to take you under their wing, as it were, and teach you?
For two reasons.
Yes.
The first reason, that a private investigator doesn't like to share.
Okay.
That's easy. No, it's secret. See, no, I cannot tell you that. No, no, I can't. It's everywhere in the world.
Okay.
Everything is secret. It's a very paranoid job. And the second reason is that at this time, it has changed a lot. The average level of the private investigator was really very low. They were already dead and still walking. They didn't know they were dead, but it was finished. They didn't realize that technology will soon take the power. As I was a newbie, of course I realized it. If I would have been an old investigator, I would have been like the others. But I was a newbie, a rookie. And I realized that I need to learn to use a computer. The computer will be my best friend, my second investigator, if not my main.
I got it. And
so that's why I start to take notes. Or if I go on this site, I can find this. On this site, this. Which tool? I can use this to follow people thanks to his car. There are different models. Let's try different model. Let's study how to put it on a car. Things like that, months after months. And at this time, I was living with a beautiful lady. And one day she was just behind me, and she said, "What are you doing?" I'm making some notes for being better in my job. And she said, "But you are writing a book." No. Yes, you are right. This is a book. That's it. It was a book.
And
not my decision. As very often in my life, it's not my decision. My partner said, "But you are writing a book about how to spy." Yeah, not how to spy, how to investigate. Yeah, but it's a book. Think so? Yeah. And there is no one like that in French, because she after that she made her research. No, there is no one. Okay, well, let's try it.
And so when did you publish your first edition, or your first edition of the book?
No, because I didn't really trust her. I follow her because she was my girlfriend. So I made something like 50 copy at the corner. You see?
Right.
I sent some emails to professionals, and she said, "You need to sell it very expensive, $60. Are you crazy? No, $60. Okay. If you say so, you're the boss." Well, it was not said like that, but yeah, she was the boss. So I print first 50, then 100, and then 200. And yeah, I sold them at the unbelievable price of €60. And yeah, it was a micro success, because when you sell 200 or 300 books, it's not a big deal, but it was something. And after I realized that it was boring to put the book in an envelope, lick the stamp, glue the stamp, go to the post office. No, it's funny for your first sales because you're proud, but soon it has been boring. And so I send emails, thanks to my new skills, how to send 1,000 emails in 5 minutes, because that was things I was learning at this time to write the book. I used my new technique to sell my book to a French publisher, instead of putting my book to the post office and wait 6 months for an answer. No, thank you, not for me. I have no patience. So I just send email with a link to a summary of the book. I think after two or 3 days, it started. Can you send us the full book, please, for review? We could be interested. And after 1 month or two, I had 7 proposals. I thought I was a new star in this world. So, and all of them were from Paris. So it was, publisher from Paris. Some of them had a great know in the publishing world.
Right.
And I just signed with one of them just because they offer me the best coffee. I swear, it's the only
That's the reason. So did you go to Paris to meet them?
Yeah. I went to Paris for a day to meet those who wanted to sign with me.
Is it like the movies? Did they pick you up at the station in a Rolls Royce? And no.
Only one of them offered me a coffee.
I see. And do you still publish?
Another one told me, okay, your book could be maybe interesting, but remember, sir, nobody knows you. You are not famous. And I remember my ego was already working at a high level.
Right.
Just because he said that, I told myself, I will never sign with you.
I see.
So
okay.
I'm not famous. You told me that I'm not famous. I will never sign with you. And I never did.
You never did. So
no.
Are you still with that same company today that you signed with? No.
Only the first edition in 2010.
Right.
And that's it. I just published this book. It was unbelievable for me. After that, I published 2 other books.
Oh, so this first book is not the first edition of Offensive Intelligence, or it is?
Yeah, but I wrote about other topics.
Such as?
I've been also published by a French publisher, a book. I don't know how to translate it in English. It could be how to make your boss life hell. Yeah, you understand me?
How to upset your boss, right?
Oh, it was more than upsetting. It was, to rotten his life. I don't know. Yeah. The good translation was how to rotten your boss life.
Your boss's life. So now I'm really intrigued. What on earth were you thinking of? What motivated you to write a book about how to make your boss's life miserable when, to be honest, I don't think you ever had a boss.
No, I had, just after my graduation, I had a boss, but he was very kind. I had no problem with it.
So what motivated that kind of book?
At this time, I told you I was still a consultant in human resources, not only private investigator. I continue, after I sold my company, I continue to give training in communication and management for big company. And every day when I was a coach or a trainer, I used to listen to workers, even manager, who complain about their boss every day. And I hate that so much. So I start to take notes. Stop complaining about their boss. You don't like your boss. Why do you tell it to everyone, exception made him? Why you don't tell him that, I don't know, there is a problem? Because he's going to fire me. No, he won't. No, he won't. So it was too much pressure for me to listen to these sad stories every day. So I begin to take notes. The same as with my first book. Begin to take notes. And then after a while, with my girlfriend, which was still the same at this time, she thought it was really funny. And she said, you have another book.
Okay, so what was the single most successful technique of really making your boss miserable that you can remember?
There are so many, but some of them are so easy. Imagine you. Oh, you. Yeah. Okay. You have business meeting. in foreign countries, I suppose. Let's say let's say you go for the US on Friday evening.
Yes.
Okay, it's possible, no? Okay.
Yeah.
I stop your bank card Friday evening. Just stop it. It's stolen. 2 or 3 easy questions. And
But
you have
how
no
do
more.
I do that as an employee? You're my boss. How do I stop your credit card?
You call. You just have to know some information, but not so many.
I
Just
see. So it's not that
very
difficult.
few. No. It's really easy. It's based on trust. So you are now in New York. It's Friday evening, and you have no more money. During this time, I took a picture of your apartment, of your house, and put it on sale.
Oh dear. I see.
Funny.
Okay.
It's
Yes.
very, very, very easy. And in this book, there were hundreds of tricks like that. Why? To show you, to prove you that you are stronger than you think. It was not a crazy guy who wrote that. It was my first real act of therapy.
Okay.
I really help you people. Look, read that, and you know that you are strong. Your boss can do nothing against you. Just imagine you have an employee, and your employee in public very gently tell you, boss, when you are talking to me, I feel harassed.
Okay.
It's a very bad day, which is beginning.
Yes, it's a beginning of a bad day.
Yeah, it's a beginning. You know, it's easy. I just wanted to show to people, ladies and gentlemen, you are more powerful than what your parents told you.
Okay, that's really interesting. Let me just break that down, because on the one hand, I see you as this white knight who is going after and finding out and solving problems for people who need help, like a Robin Hood. But now,
Yeah, I was like that when I was a kid.
exactly.
I didn't have problems.
And now,
I wanted to help others.
Your second book sounds more like, how can you be a mini terrorist?
Pacific, not even Pacific. Yeah.
Why would you think, with the knowledge of clinical psychology, that this is the right way to behave? Because before, you clearly intimated that the right way to behave with a boss who is a pain is to sit down across and say, look, boss, you're making this more difficult for me. You're abusing this relationship. But the conduct of stopping his credit card, apart from anything else, involves, if not some criminality, at least some morally bad behavior. So how do you reconcile those dynamics, Philippe?
I wrote this thinking, and it was true, that nobody will take the book as a real manual. And it was true. Nobody used it, as far as I know. I wanted to write something that people read, laughing, imagining what they could
do. I see.
And will never do.
So now I get it.
It was totally therapeutic. Therapeutic, it's okay?
Therapeutic. Yeah, absolutely. Now I understand where you're coming from. It's, here's what you can imagine you could do and how easy it is. And by imagining it and reading it, you are getting out all of that frustration that you feel.
Yeah. Stop thinking that you are weak. Read this book. How can you think that you are weak after reading this book? You are the master of the universe.
And how many sales did you make of this book?
I don't know, but thousands.
Thousands?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now I'm really interested. You actually did another book after that, or went
Yeah,
back to
a novel. Yeah,
a
a novel.
novel? And what was that about?
20 hours of life of two drug addicts.
Wow. Okay. And was that
Yeah.
based on any kind of real life experience?
Absolutely. I wrote it with a partner, my best friend,
Yeah.
who is a social worker
Right.
and who used to work with drug addicts in the streets. So he knows that I wanted to write a book about ordinary people having an extraordinary life. And he'd say, hey, just come work with me 2 hours and you'll see another world, an underworld. And it was an underworld, thousands of people living like rats in caves.
Wow.
It's not imaginable. So I follow him uh, a, a couple of times, a lot of time, and we decided to use his experience to write a novel, but a very speed novel. Hour after hour during 24 hours.
Ah, I see. Like the TV program, 24 hours. You go
Yeah,
for hour
yeah.
to hour to hour.
Of course, the title is inspired by this program, this
This
TV program.
program, I see. And what did you personally learn from writing that book and going to see all of the sad lives of these people who were drug addicts? What did you learn personally, Philippe?
That you can be living and invisible. You can be totally invisible. There is, and it's not only in my town, which is a very poor and dangerous town, Charleroi, Belgium.
Right.
But the same thing is existing everywhere in the Western world and probably other world too. And there are thousands of people who has a life, or I don't know if we can call it a life, but yes, it's a life, and it's an underlife. It's something under your feet. They live in caves. They die in caves, and that's what I saw, and it was a fascinating experience.
Wow.
Well,
And how did that experience affect you personally, emotionally, psychologically?
it didn't. I was like a war photographer. I'm protected by camera, and I was protected by my screen, by typing. It was not a real person. It was a hero of the book. It's not I was not writing about something I saw or my friend told me. I was writing a story, and it was protecting me from suffering because it was professional, like a war photographer. That's how they die. They don't see that the tank is. Hey, dude, the tank is firing 10 meters far from you. No, it's okay. Click, click, click. Dead.
And what is it that was it within you that led you to, it must have been for the ordinary person incredibly upsetting to see the people living in this way and being wasting away in front of you.
Yeah.
What is it? Were you trying to deal with some therapeutically? Because that seems to be a theme that we've talked
No,
about.
but the book had an impact because it was a great success. So my friend and I were invited everywhere, TV, radio, newspaper, everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, Belgium, France, everywhere.
Because it was so raw, or because there was a happy ending, or what?
Maybe because all of that.
And was there a happy ending? Was it your friend rescuing or you rescuing somebody?
No, it was the story of two persons during 24 hours, and at every page you think that they are going to die. Next page, but they don't. They survive. Like most of the addicts in the street, most of them, they will survive. They are not going to die. They are incredibly resilient.
Wow.
They can live with rats, beasts. They can be beaten, stabbed, whatever you want. They can have hepatitis, AIDS, whatever you want. Most of them, they will survive.
And how did that make you feel when you went through this process? Did that give you more faith in human life or less, or none? It didn't affect you at all?
It didn't affect me. It was, writing was a protection.
Right.
It's not real life. It's a story. Even if it's about real people, it's a story. It's a job. It didn't affect me. Yeah. On the moment when I was in an abandoned house with no stairs and it stinks shit and have every blood.
Yeah.
Of course it affected me.
Yes.
When I enter in a house and I realized that 10 guys had the gun and not me. Yeah, of course I was affected by the fact that in front of me there were 10 guys with a gun and they really looked crazy. But they were so crazy that they think that only two super crazy guys will enter in a house without gun. And so they run.
They ran away from you.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, you're still investigating as well. You're writing, you're investigating, your clinical site. You're doing 2, 3, 4 things at the same time?
Three. And three.
So tell me about the most interesting missing person case that has ended up successfully.
But it's a sad story.
Another sad story.
Yeah, you must know something. And it's one of the reasons I didn't want to continue with personal case.
Right.
It's when you work for family, it's not like on TV. Absolutely not.
It's not.
No, because it's always finish badly.
Okay, so tell us about that story.
Well, it's a story among 25 others. A French woman in her 50s or 40s, 50s, I think.
Yeah.
She has been adopted when she was very young.
Okay.
She had a very happy life, very good parents. Her parents just died.
Wow.
And as her parent just died, she began to ask herself, why my mother left me.
Got it.
Oh, she asked me if it was possible to find her. She had some very small intel, and but okay, I found the mother, the biological mother. It was unbelievable because it was just the same woman, but with 20 years more.
Right. Facially looked almost identical.
Facially, well, identical. Yeah. So I didn't want to cause problem to the mother.
Yeah.
I must tell you that in Belgium and in France, it's forbidden by law to give an address without the authorization of the target. You cannot do that.
Wow.
It's forbidden. But I found the mother, and I decided not to call, not to write. I decided to go, thinking that she would possibly be married with kids.
Okay.
So I built a story in case of, but I didn't have to. Ring the bell, lady come. It was funny because even before I opened my mouth, she knew.
She just got that psychic feeling from you.
I don't know, but she knew.
And
she just say, I know why you are here.
Right. And
she say, if you give my address to this lady, she said, this lady, I will call the cops.
Oh, wow. And so that story ends with you not being able to give the address, or what?
No, of course I didn't give the address. I could, it's easy for me to understand that a very young lady, 18 years old, pregnant, in a certain time, bad environment, she cannot have this baby. I can't really, I can understand it easily, how hard it, yeah, it was. But no, she was in her 50, no, more. She was 70 something. Yeah, 70.
I see.
Okay, I understand she's married, she has kids, she didn't tell the truth to her husband. I understand that perfectly. Don't tell me you are going to call the cops. So I oblige her to write a letter.
I see. To her daughter.
Yeah.
Explaining what?
Dear madam, I'm happy to know that you have, I'm glad to know that you have a happy life. We have nothing in common. Please do not try to contact me. Best regards.
Wow. And at least you took that back with you.
Yeah. Okay. I gave the letter to my client and she was very happy.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you ever retained to do something for somebody who you then realized was going to use the information for an improper purpose? In other words, to do harm to somebody?
But I didn't finish the file. Someone hired me because my client was shot in the legs.
Shot in the leg, okay.
Was shot in the legs and wanted me to find the shooter.
Wow, okay.
But I knew why. So I said no.
Both criminals?
Yeah, no. Call the cops.
Okay.
They don't give a shit. Okay, me neither.
Okay, so you didn't take the job on?
No, I didn't take. And one time in my career, only one time I lied. I lied to a client.
I see. And what did you lie about?
A very old lady dying asked me to find the love of her life, former love of her life, but now that her life was ending, apparently it was the love of her life. And she asked me to just first to know if he's still living and then have last contact before dying.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what happened?
So I found a guy.
And
he was still alive, very alive.
And what did you do?
He tell me, oh yeah, I remember this lady. Yeah, well, I don't care. It's an old story. So he was the love of her life, but she wasn't
the love of his. So let me ask you, where was the lie? Who did you lie to? You lied to the client and said, I couldn't find him.
I said that he was dead.
I see. So would I be right in saying there's a very clear theme in the cases you took on were for people individuals in really distressing circumstances? It doesn't sound as if you were in the business of tracking down somebody that stole money from a company. You tended to fall
No, I did that a lot. Most of my job was that.
I see.
95%. But if you ask me a question about that, I have nothing to say because it's not funny. There is no fun.
There's no.
I receive 100 files. Can you find those guys who owe money to our banks? Yeah. We think that they are in Spain. I send email to my colleague in my network and I wait. There is no fun.
So, but that means you were not doing the actual investigation yourself. You were delegating it to somebody else. Yeah. Yeah.
It was one of the cause of the success I had. It's because I built a network of private investigators specialized in the search of missing people. So So normally it's the job of a government to do that, or maybe the police, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But they will took 3 years to do that. They will find you. They will find you. 3 years.
3 years.
Okay. After 3 years, you will receive a letter. Sir, you owe money to our bank. If you don't pay immediately, we will blah 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 blah. Okay. 3 years. So you can change. You can go to another country, and they will find you again 3 years later. But with my network, instead of 3 years, it was 3 days.
Wow. And what did you do once you found them? Were you ever used to go and negotiate the settlement, or you just hand over the information and say,
no, never. The guy is there. The guy is there.
I see.
The end of the story.
Somebody else did did the heavy lifting.
Yeah. That's why it was totally unemotional.
Right. So as we are creeping even beyond the hour, I want to end on an investigative story that you are particularly proud of. This is the impact you had on somebody's life or on your life by doing the investigation.
Let's do this if we were friends, okay?
Yeah.
I received a call from Greece, from prison in Greece. And a guy told me that he has heard about me in I don't know which country, police, I don't know, I understood nothing. And he wanted me to reopen his case because he had been condemned for 12 years in jail.
Okay.
Yeah, but for what, sir? Yeah, but I've been convicted, but I'm innocent. Yes, yeah. In what? In trafficking of child pornography material.
Oh my God. Okay.
But I'm innocent. Yeah, so die. But I didn't say die. I told him that, no, I'm a private investigator. I'm not a lawyer. I find facts or I don't. It's just a question of facts.
Right.
He said, yeah, I will send you a big file and you will see that I'm innocent. Yeah, send me the file and some money too, please. Just to take a look at your big file. I took a look at his big file, which was full of crap.
Right.
99% of his file was okay, good for the rubbish bin. But there was something not normal. I say, okay, I take your file. You say, but you need to work quickly because there is a court of appeal in Athens in 6 months. And I want to go out from here. My the people who is living in the same cell. How do they say that?
They're
prisoner.
Yeah.
My mate, co-prisoner, just killed himself in the cell. I want to go out of here. They think that I kill him. Please help me. So I made my research. First, I analyzed the first judgment, and it was unbelievable, really unbelievable. He has been convinced as being the boss of a pedocriminal material network.
Right.
He was the boss of 2 different websites located in the US.
Right.
The problem is the 2 sites were closed, and the owners of the sites were well known by the justice. They were in jail in the US. You didn't need to be a great investigator to know that. So he couldn't be the boss of those sites because the boss has been arrested in the US.
Okay.
And convinced 20 years in jail.
Okay.
So I say, okay, I will come to the court. So I took a ticket to attend.
Yeah.
I went to the court. I was received as an expert, apparently very common.
Yeah.
And I realized that all the investigation by the local police was so unprofessional. They put his ex-wife under pressure, but heavily, and she wanted to testify about that everything was, her testimony was a fake. The fact that he was managing the two pedopornographic site was a fake. At most, he was customer of those sites, but it's not 12 years in jail. In most of the country, is one.
Right.
I think it's one. So I went to the court, and I realized that in some case, I don't want to generalize, justice means nothing, because the cops trafficked everywhere, everything was fake, everything, and it was easy to see. So my client has, of course, a bunch of lawyers, the most expensive lawyers in Greece, but they were so useless.
Why?
So I don't know, they were so low level for my criteria. So I testify not as a lawyer, but as an expert and a witness. So I just explain what I saw. They say, yeah, he was a part of those two sides. He was also trafficking on the internet to sell movies on eDonkey. You know what eDonkey was? It was a file sharing site.
I see. Okay.
You cannot sell something on eDonkey. It's you put a file and people download it if they want, but there is no money.
I see.
I explained because nobody knew a damn thing about internet, about anything. So it was they say, yeah, but he was on pornographic site. Yeah, and I turned myself to the hall. There was more than 100 people, 150, I think. No, yesterday I read a paper on your country, or your beautiful country, saying that 1/3 of your population is on those sites, which means that we have 150 people in this place, and 1/3 of them this morning on a pornographic site. So are they going to jail, all of them, or no one? The judge stopped me. He said he was speaking perfectly French, which was very special. Perfectly. He said, okay, so we don't need more. We don't need more. It's enough. So for Christmas, the guy was out.
Completely finished, and his conviction set aside?
For this case, but what I didn't know, there was another case.
Also against him?
Yeah. And it was about abusing child. And I put him out of jail.
Oh my God. And he didn't ask you to set aside the conviction on that one?
No, because he couldn't. There were love letters written to a girl of 12 years old.
Oh my God. But how did he get out of prison? Was he not serving both sentences at the same time?
Yeah, but he made 7 years, and 3 or 4 months later, it was finished.
So he had finished the sentence for the real abuse.
Yeah, there were no real abuse. It was not clear at all.
Oh.
There were no abuse. He was in love. He wrote letters, but there was not sexual abuse.
I see. You and I would call You and I would call it grooming, or not?
Grooming? I don't know the word.
Grooming means developing a relationship with an underage child in a way designed to exploit them sexually, physically?
No, I'm not sure of it, but I think no. I think his brain. I'm not sure because I didn't interview him about this case, but I think in his brain he was a child too.
Now, forgive me for this last question. You are an investigator. You've been brought on to identify the fact that he had been totally, the police had been totally, if not inept, corrupt.
Oh yeah, more
but
than
how
yeah.
did you not, with your investigations, know that he was not in prison for a related offense?
I didn't know. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm still thinking about it.
Still
And
think-
he loved me so. He loved me so much. He wanted to give me an apartment. He wanted to invite me on Greek island, on boats, and whatever you want.
Wow.
But lucky end. I follow him years after years. He never been in jail after that.
Okay. Well, what an amazing
and his own daughter said it's a fake. I was there and it's a fake. He never
Sorry,
did
what
something
is a fake?
wrong.
What was a fake?
He never touched the it was his daughter friends,
Oh,
same
I
age.
see. So
And
it was
she said,
also
I was there.
So it was
I was
also
there.
a potentially set up job as well.
Potentially, yeah. So I will never know, but as far as I know, he continued 15 years after to invite me for holidays or
But you don't go.
boats. No.
Well, Philippe, what can I say? That hour and a bit went the fastest that I can remember for a long time. You are a man of so many interesting and complicated stories, and all I have done is scratch the surface. So
maybe not. Maybe you know it all.
Maybe. I doubt it though, but I want to thank you sincerely for being my companion on this story, this traveler in arms. And it may well be that I come back to you and say, let's do a part 2 and see where that leads us.
Welcome. First, thank you for inviting me, Gary. And it was really a great moment for me too. Great. I really appreciate it.
Well, me too. So have a lovely evening and thank you so much. I will let you know when we are ready to go public.
Okay, Gary, see you soon. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please click and subscribe to the Intelligence Advantage podcast on Spotify and other platforms.